as women, there is always a thing, or does she have it easier? Is it better? Who's to say, that a stay-at-home mother has it better? I don't think she has it better. I don't think I have it better. I don't think somebody who's climbing the corporate ladder has it better. I don't think an actress has it better. I don't think anybody has it better. You each have your own struggles in your own zones, and you each have your own space of recognition, of success, of failure, of loss, and I think this is very dangerous when we do this whole comparison game.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Voice It with Karishma Shah. I'm very happy to be introducing today's guest. She is an iron lady. She has gone and done so many beautiful things in her, career so far. I'm going to give her the opportunity to explain all the process. But I would like to welcome Anika Parashar. She is the CEO and founder of the Women's Company. The Women's Company is an wellness and intimate hygiene brand. It creates customized products for women. So welcome to the show, Anika. I'm very happy that you took out time and you're here today. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you and talk about your journey and let everybody listen all the things that you actually went through to start your company and how it is flourishing today.
Thank you so much, Karishma. Thank you so much for having me here today, and happy to be part of this conversation.
Fantastic. So Anika, I know about your journey and, I know about, the various, skills that you had to develop to be able to, do a company on your own today. And it's so difficult for women to kind of, thrive in an atmosphere which is, primarily male dominated. Please tell us something about your journey and, how it is that, you came to start the company. We would love to know that.
So we started the Women's Company in March 2020. And, a few weeks later, literally the pandemic happened. So we went into starting a D2C business in a world where we could not meet as a startup team. We couldn't, we couldn't actually physically be in a space where we were testing out our products. We were sending stuff out from the warehouse. Everything was literally done online. Everything was coordinated online. Everything was handled except for R&D, obviously, where products would travel through, a courier service between each of us as team players to be able to test out things and get those off the ground. So we started in 2020. My background is in healthcare, women's health, women's brands. That's what I've done my whole life. And this sort of seemed like the next step because my daughter was hitting puberty and I wanted to create, a set of products which would start her journey positively. I didn't want her to start her period journey from the point of view that, oh my God, for the next 35 years, my life is in hell. More from the point of view that, this is a normal process. It's a natural process. It's something which, which helps us reproduce, have children. And it's something which every woman goes through and it doesn't hinder your life in any way. So you can still go out and play sport and, do your normal level of activities. Yes, there could be certain symptoms that happen along the way and, there are ways to alleviate those. So I wanted it to be very, very positive, and that's where it kind of started. So it started with a teen pad. And we literally had young teenagers starting their menstrual journey, test the products out, tell us how big they wanted them, that they were too, they'd come back with feedback that it's too thick, it's not soft enough. So then, the various renditions of R&D continued until we got the perfect product for the teen pad. And from the teen pad came the day pad, night pad, the XL pad. We developed a compassionate pad, which is a pad for women who've gone through, some kind of bereavement. And that was a collaborative project with Facebook. And we actually put together a chatbot where women could actually scan the box and end up in a chatbot where they could access experts and access other women who've been through similar scenarios. We tried to look at every single emotion that a woman's going through when she is going through this stage of her life. And we tried to, actually address each of those emotions so that women wouldn't feel alone through this entire process. And at one time, I think we had 3 lakh women across India on the bot at one given time, which was a pretty high number. We also had a panel of experts with, who had qualifications like gynecologists, obstetricians. We had counselors, we had healers, we had fitness and nutrition professionals, who were all accessible to women who were going through this at the same time. So we really do try and fill the gaps in the lives of women, through the Women's Company. So we don't just see ourselves as an FMCG company or as an intimate hygiene company. We also see ourselves as a company that actually supports women through their life stages. And after the pads, we also did menstrual cups of 3 sizes. We did tampons with applicators and without applicators. We did urination devices, which are smaller and they kind of fit very easily into the pocket of your jeans or into a clutch bag so that they're easy to carry. No laminate, no plastic, all recyclable, all completely decomposable. So, we also do biodegradable razors. We do an organic hot pack, which you can actually heat up. It's wheat, so that you could heat it up and use it for natural pain relief. So our funder is very, very clear. We want to be completely organic, completely biodegradable, natural. If it's good for the planet and if it's good for women's health, that's what we want to do. So that's us at the Women's Company. And 2 years in, we're now, we obviously sell off our own website, but we are also available in all major marketplaces in India. We are selling B2B as well in India. So we're actually trying to get out there to all the local shops, because periods are, as much as we try and plan them with our apps and the rest of it, they do sneak up on us. And, so we want to be able to have these kind of pads easily accessible. So slowly women stop using plastic pads altogether. That's our idea. Yes, so that's kind of the Women's Company. And we've started selling our products in the US as well, both through brick and mortar as well as online. And a good response so far. Let's see, that's just started. It's just very, very new. And as we go forward, we want to sort of more deeply penetrate both the Indian market and the US market.
Fantastic. It's so nice to know the kind of initiative that you were doing. And, when you spoke about sustainability, you spoke about, being so inclusive for women of all different categories. In my journey itself, I kind of work very closely with a lot of gynacs, and, we handle cases together, right? And, often we come across these things, and the doctors have also told me this thing, that so many women feel that they're alone when they're dealing with situations which are very personal to them. It could be any kind of situation which is concerned with their health, with their mental health, with their emotions. So I think it's beautiful that, you're doing this with the Women's Company and your own journey. I feel like it's so nice to be able to finally have a company by women for women, which is, thinking of these tiny things such as, I love the idea of the compassionate pad. I love the heating pad. I just strongly feel that is such a need for people to think from a sustainable, ecological, and a compassionate point of view when they are creating products today. And, that was one of the reasons why I was so happy to host you today. And I feel like, more power to you with the company. We will speak about the sustainability part in a bit. But before that, Anika, I want to ask you something. There's this thing that, when you start something new, right, it's almost like your baby, right? And every time that, we have to take care of that baby, there are so many hurdles. There's so many stuff that, kind of like comes in the middle of it. Can you share with us some of the hurdles that you faced, when you kind of like wanted to start the company and then you eventually did start it? And, what were the kind of situations that you faced, if any?
So a lot. I mean, all through my journey, whether it was here or before when I've started, other companies, everyone goes through hurdles. If you think that it's an entrepreneurial journey is easy, it's so not easy. You also don't have a boss to lean back on, to kind of go to for guidance. Yes, I think entrepreneurs do develop over time, a range of mentors, and I have very, very good mentors who I can go to, ask for help, and go to kind of seek advice on challenges or hurdles that do come up. But there are all kinds of hurdles, from operational hurdles to do with, people management, to do with, logistics, to do with, product design, need, gap, etc. Marketing. In a world, of D2C businesses, it's a new world where we are, navigating an entirely new, area of digital marketing, digital advertising, what's working, what's not working, what's the most effective, are we on the right path? Are we spending the monies in the right places? Investor relations, managing your investors, packaging your product, in manners which are which tell the story appropriately, that communicate your vision appropriately to investors. These are all very very crucial things, and I think hurdles which every entrepreneur goes through. In terms of team, do I have the right team? Do I have the right people in the right job? Are they smarter than me? Which is very important. They should all be smarter than you. Just things like that. So every entrepreneur, and me definitely. I mean, I've definitely felt them all across the way, and a lot of demotivation, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of questioning along the way. Am I doing the right thing? Should I even be embarking upon this journey? Is it worth it? On hard days, on really hard days, when the buck really stops with you, is it worth it? And where everyone's looking to you to give answers. And it's not a well-established company yet, where you've had 10 years or you've had 15 years under your belt. You're still trying to become established, and it's still nascent, so there's a lot that you have to prove. So there are hurdles that come along the way in this journey, all throughout. And I'm sure even seasoned business people who've had 25 years of their company under their belt have different challenges. So to think that any part of your world, professional or personal, is challenge free is a complete fallacy.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I feel like also one of the reasons why I did ask you the question is because so many women feel that the grass is greener on the other side. When they kind of look at, they could be homemakers, or they could be students, or they could be, working for a company. When they look at women who are entrepreneurs, they always feel like maybe she has it better. Maybe, she got it easy, right? And it's so important for us to understand that it's not really like that. It's just that we all choose what are the kind of things that we want to work on, and we choose the kind of battles that we want to fight. And
also, I don't think it's this whole, you're right. And I want to touch upon this, because as women, there is always a thing, or does she have it easier? Is it better? Who's to say that a stay-at-home mother has it better? I don't think she has it better. I don't think I have it better. I don't think somebody who's climbing the corporate ladder has it better. I don't think an actress has it better. I don't think anybody has it better. You each have your own struggles in your own zones, and you each have your own space of recognition, of success, of failure, of loss, and I think this is very dangerous when we do this whole comparison game.
absolutely.
It's very, and we all do it. I do it too. I find myself doing it a lot because my personal situation is unique as well. Where I'm a single mother and I don't have any parents, so I think about it often. Oh, but she has this and she has that, and yes, she does, and she probably does have it a little bit easier. But who's to say what her life is going to be like 20 years from now? And who's to say what she went through when she was a kid? Because my childhood was pretty idyllic. So it doesn't compare. You can't compare to people, and we do it. We all do it.
Yes, thank you for validating that. Thank you for validating that point, because I feel like the more young entrepreneurs I speak to, the more women I connect with. It's so important for the conversation to go out that we all choose our own battles. We're all fighting something in our own ways, and it's just something which is, we're so passionate about something that we choose to make this shine above everything else that's actually going wrong in our life, because there has to be something or the other happening in everyone's life, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much for opening up and telling us about your personal life as well. I highly appreciate that. Also, Anika, you mentioned this point about sustainability, and I personally want to know, with the vision and the mission of your brand, and also the journey ahead, what does sustainability mean for you? Because it's such a overused term now, and it means different things for different people. So I would really like for you to elaborate on what it means for you, what sustainability means for you, and also how it plays a role in your vision and mission of the brand.
So sustainability is a new word for me that goes back only a few years, okay? Because you're so busy living your life that you don't actually realize, the impact that your life is making. So, all of these words, terms that we've heard over the last couple of decades, ozone layer, climate change, extinction of animals, plastic products, elimination of plastic, especially the plastic straw campaign that happened, etc. Um, you know, what did all of this mean to me? Not a lot a few years ago. If you ask a lot of people, they'd probably say the same thing if they're honest. Somewhere along the way, I would say that a lot of this happened through awareness with my children, because my children are teenagers and they'd come back from school, and these would be topics of of interest, of topics that were trending, that were contemporary topics that would be happening through their schools, is pollution. So don't burst your firecrackers, carpool. How do you actually bring down the pollution levels, especially living in a city like Delhi? And then it would go on to sustainability and what can we do for that. And as a woman who's worked in healthcare, like I have run hospitals, I have worked with women in labor, help them with having their babies through fertility. And I've realized that there are so many challenges that we have in terms of our health as well, because of the environment, the climate, the toxins, the chemicals in the food that we eat, which is why the world is going organic, in the skincare products that we use, which is why more and more, back to roots, back to Ayurveda, back to natural, naturopathy is all happening. And then, also conservation of animals, of electricity, of water, and you're seeing more and more about it as you go on. More and more brands, governments, agencies, everyone is talking about the fact that we all have to do our part and play our part in in this entire sustainability piece. Yes. I think sustainability is about, if you break the word down, it's about sustaining the future. It's about sustaining the earth. It's about actually making it possible for the next few generations to live without there being an explosion of the ozone layer, without there being absolutely no animals, without there being plastic clogging land mines, or the seas and the ocean banks, and also about general human health. So are we using period products that have toxins in them, that have dioxin and chemicals that end up causing PCOD, endometriosis, even have linkages to cancer? Or do we think that we're worthy of using more natural products for 35 years of our life, as women? Do we think that what we eat is important in terms of, should we cut down on our processed food, on our refined sugars, on our, I've recently turned vegan as well, on our animal related products. Well, not vegan, but more plant-based, I would call it, and those are all personal choices. Not everyone has to make those choices. My children are not, they're young adults, they're in their teens, but it's about each of us playing our part, doing our bit towards becoming healthier human beings and developing a healthier planet. I think that's what it really boils down to,
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I also feel like, with more people coming out and doing things where a decade ago, we wouldn't hear of any other brand apart from the 3-4 major players in an industry like the sanitary ware, for women hygiene as well, right? There would be just 3-4 brands which were dominating the entire market. And nobody spoke about the kind of harm it was doing. Nobody spoke about the inflated prices. Nobody spoke about, where is all that extra plastic going after it is getting disposed? Nobody spoke about all these things. But then here we are today. We strongly do feel, we feel so much for animals. We feel so much for an environment where beautiful people like you come across, and they create an entire brand, and they create products which have so much of an ecological factor, and also a factor where you actually do care. That's so much more important. I think the whole healthcare sector, that's the reason why there is the word care after health. That's just so it's just so ironic, because in the smallest of ways, it is taking care of somebody. It is taking care of a phenomenon, of an illness, of a disorder. So I feel like, thank you so much for elaborating, on your mission and the whole sustainability aspect. But I feel like the more we have people doing these things, the more people become conscious about all these things. When we talk about, we speak about, we speak loosely about words such as consciousness, and we speak loosely about words such as sustainability and everything. However, the more deeper aspects of these are when you kind of start the way that you said, when you play a part in it. How much can I do? You know, I don't really have to go to a beach and then pick up the trash every single day. If I can't do that, I can't do that. But what is it that me living in my house in the smallest of ways, how can I inculcate small little practices and help in whatever way I can? It starts from there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for, doing that, and that beautiful message with the brand as well. Anika, before we go, I want to ask you, again, a very simple question, but something, that is so close to my heart. I feel like so many young girls, boys, everybody listens to, our podcast, different podcasts, and with the whole information out there these days, right? If you had to give a message to, the young audience listening today, people who are the age of your kids or maybe younger or maybe, elder to them, you as someone who has, done so much of, important work in the healthcare system, you as a woman who is so sure of yourself, and you're also progressing ahead, doing all these different things with creating your own brand, etc. If there was one thing that you had to give as a takeaway, or you had to give one message to the young audience listening today, what is it that you would like to share with them about everything possible?
I think in terms of life, I would say, and I say this repeatedly whenever I give an interview or I speak with somebody or do an interaction, it hasn't changed over the years, Karishma, but it's basically to be as true to yourself as you can be, because when you don't do that, that's when the problems come up. So first of all, when you are not true to yourself, then you're not at ease with yourself. When you're not at ease with yourself, you give way to disease, okay, in your body. That's one thing, and that's a true thing. Okay, I have had all kinds of feelings where I just don't like what I'm seeing, and I end up getting an eye allergy, or I just don't like, or I'm feeling uncomfortable about something in my gut, literally, and you know what? There's a stomach problem that pops up, and it is a reality. There is a very strong mind-body connection. So one is that. The second is that there are so many, as we are growing up. So when we're born a baby, then we have very basic needs. When we cry, we get fed, we get, our diaper changed in terms of, because we've basically, we just need to get our waist cleaned up, or that we need to sleep. Those are 3 basic things. As we grow up, and we're authentic about what we ask for. So we're authentic about crying when we're unhappy. As we go on in life, we have our parents' views, our grandparents' views, the family system's views, social conditioning, the media, teachers, friends, the entire world's ecosystem that comes in and clogs up, telling us who they think we should be, how they think we should behave, okay? And in general, they start labeling us, good, bad, ugly. This is what you should do, shouldn't do, could, couldn't, would, wouldn't, etc. And as we get to a point in midlife, then we start, seeking counseling or therapists, because we're trying to unravel and unlearn everything that we've been taught to go back to where we were, where we could just voice our basic needs. So the point is that the more authentic that we are, the more true to ourselves that we are, the better we will be in every aspect of our life, whether it's our own mind body, our relationships with other people, because if we have the ability to draw boundaries, to say healthy no's, to say yeses to things which, we feel that we could not do, but we push ourselves, those are all things that we, authenticity and being aware of your own true self and your own true needs opens up those aspects in one's life. So I think it's really important to do that, and to be able to juggle all the balls that we do in our lives, which is being a child, being a parent, being a sibling, being a spouse, being a worker, being a boss, being a friend, being a family member, being a civil a member of society. All of those things take a toll on us. So the more authentic that we can be in playing each of those roles, the better that our journey will be as we go on in all aspects of life.
Yes, I highly resonate with that. In every single word that you said, I highly, highly resonate with that. And I feel like, as a parting note, I feel like let's try and be more authentic. And the more we are authentic and the more we care about, things which really matter to us, and, we kind of take a compassionate route towards that with ourselves and our environment and everybody next to us, I think that's what an overall sustainable aspect should be like. So thank you so much, Anika, for being a part of, this beautiful conversation today. I'm so happy that, through this medium, we got to share your journey. We got to share so much about the brand. We got to share the whole aspect about, what some of the very important aspects are in life from a woman who's already gone through things. And it makes sense only then. I always say that, you have to go through things to be able to then communicate that to others.
Yeah.
So I feel like no better place than this today. I would like to thank you on behalf of me and the team also. Thank you so much for coming here for the conversation. For all the listeners, Anika and her entire team from the Women's Company have very graciously offered, a fun contest for everyone to play, and we're going to be giving out free products from the Women's Company to all the people who win this contest. So stay tuned for all the things that are going to come out with the contest, and whoever wins, we'll be announcing that shortly. So thank you once again, and I'm very happy that you could be a part of this conversation today.
Thank you so much, Karishma.